Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
So you had a town ball weekend, huh?
I did have a town ball weekend, starting in Stearns County, which has always been an interesting place. And when somebody references Stearns County, they don't mean St. Cloud. St. Cloud's on the Sherburne county's, Stearns County line.
Right. Yep.
It's a completely different entity, and then the rest of it is rural, basically.
Yep.
And so when I say Stearns County, I mean Stearns County. And yes, I went up there to see a couple of ball games. I saw a couple innings in El Rosa and then zipped over to St. Martin. As I've been saying, Joe, if you took a percentage of mask wearing in Stearns County and turned it into blood alcohol, you wouldn't get a DWI. It's below that. They are absolutely, completely politicized on it, as you say. Here's what I just wrote what I considered to be an observational column. I didn't really put any opinions in there. I just had some fun. I made some fun of this. Right. 346 comments, Joe, on a routine column, and that was with some culling by the editors of some of the more ridiculously over-the-top, hateful remarks from both sides.
Let me guess. Half were for you, and half were against you.
Yeah, but masks, and it was all about masks. It was the mask marvels against the trumpeters, and it was ugly. I mean, and the mask crowd, I think, was a little nastier than the other crowd, because they basically, if you weren't wearing a mask, they wanted you to die, because you were killing other people.
Yes.
I mean, it was amazing how quickly it turned. There weren't 5 comments that had anything to do with the column,
Right. The days of reading a columnist for enjoyment are long past.
It's not. But this pandemic, which you kind of thought, okay, this is a worldwide problem. Maybe we'll get into this together and meet your middle ground. This is one of the most political. It has turned into one of the most political battles we have ever had.
It's made left and right even further apart.
I saw a guy refer to a guy with a mask on as a guy wearing his communist diaper.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did. I mentioned this to Reavers today that I stopped in St. Martin and in the bar, Doochies, Dutchies, I guess but it's spelled Doochies, and a gal named Patty Sells or something owns it, and I walk in there at 5.
Yeah.
And there's one guy in there, and then there's 2 people out on this little deck, and it's a big place. And Patty's got herself a sign on the wall that's as big as the back wall of this studio, at least. Trump 2020.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No more BS, but BS was spelled out.
Yep.
That was a big red sign. And
thought you were in the Gopher bar.
Ordered a Diet Coke, ordered a beer for the guy next to me, and I'm sitting there biting my tongue, wanting to make a little light of Patty. And I just look at Patty's, 40s, and she's not ornery looking, but she just had that look on her face like, Don't say anything about Trump.
Whoa. Yep.
She might break a bottle and hit you with it.
I know you can see the sign.
So I just didn't do it. So later on at the ballpark, I mentioned Patty and her sign, and I said her political views are pretty well open over there. And the guy says, yeah, and she'll tell you about them. So I guess I made
a wise decision.
A good decision, but it's just it is amazing. And I said this to Chris earlier today. Why does Walz want to make all these enemies by not letting people play a ball game when he's got the bars open? It makes no sense.
Well, plus, why did he give himself another 30 days to play commander-in-chief?
Yeah, and I guess with his popularity, with his approval rating tumbling by the day, I'm wondering if did he officially do that yet?
Yes.
I thought he had to get permission of the legislature.
Yeah, the Republican House blocked the Senate's vote to deny him that 30 days, so he has it.
As of today?
I believe so.
Really? Oh, yeah. Well, I'd heard that he was having second thoughts on that.
But you know what? You know what's happening? At the end of this social distancing, how it's ending was inevitable. It's just happening organically. You know, last week you wouldn't sit at this chair at this outdoor patio, and today you're going to sit there with somebody else, and then tomorrow it's going to be 4 people around the table. Yes. It's just happening. It's just going to happen.
Yes. The game that Reavers and I went to yesterday in Gibbon, nice little town, nice little ballpark. And the guy, you know, the limit for attendance at these games is 250 supposedly. And the guy proudly announced to us as we were leaving what the attendance was, and I said, I think I'd keep that to yourself.
Yeah, not a good time to brag.
But, you know, these small towns, I mean, one guy I was talking to, he's 85, he's sitting there, and they have had no cases. You know, they don't have any reason
happen to be out watching ball.
They don't reason to.
Is that what Walz put on ball games? 250 people?
No, it wasn't him. It was the
state board.
The state board came up with their 10-point program of how we're going to respond to the COVID. And,
well, I wonder who's the genius who came up with 250.
It's 1/4 of capacity, and they just estimated both ballparks. I guess if you had a bigger ballpark, you could hold more people. I don't know. It's supposed to be
it's a percentage
25%,
factor, Joe. Yeah.
I think Major League Baseball is ultimately going to just let us down and not play.
Well, if we get down to 50 games, wouldn't you just say don't play?
Right. What's the point?
Yeah, I mean,
and don't tell me you're going to crown a World Series champion.
Well, yeah, the Washington Nationals last year, Joe. 19-31 after 50 games, and they won the World Series. So, but boy, do they look bad, don't they? They
really do.
I mean, it's just they could have been playing by now, maybe in Florida or Arizona or someplace, but they could have been playing by now, and instead they're still arguing. They're going to get started, you know, after everybody else.
I think it's silly for hockey and basketball, too. Why don't you just bite the bullet, fellas? You lost the season. Have your normal times for training camps and get a new season coming up.
How about the NBA today, though, led by that brain surgeon, Mr. Flat Earth Kyrie, who says that they should not play because as long as the protests are going on across the nation, it would take away the focus of the social justice battle that's going on. And, you know, for him or against it, he's now guilted. You've now been guilted, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to play. If you're LeBron James and you want to play, Kyrie's just guilted you, right? Mm-hmm. If you disagree with him and don't want to play. So
I didn't like golf without fans.
You decided in the end you didn't like it, huh?
That's right. It just the vibe was missing.
You know what I liked? A Colonial with a great field of players, though. Everybody was there. That's what I liked.
I watched a few highlights. Did Bryson DeChambeau? Did he put on a couple lbs?
Oh, only muscle.
Wow, he looked huge.
Only muscle.
Like he should be at an NFL training camp.
He went the tiger route with that castle in Germany with lightning bolts flashing over the turrets in the middle of the night, and some mad scientist putting juice in them. No, I'm kidding. I don't know that.
He's
that's
already had that stiff swing. His body movements are all like very mechanical anyway. And he was, yeah, I saw. But then we saw that in the fall, right, Joe? Mm-hmm. This the new bigger Bryson in the fall. We saw this huge man. Yes. He's an odd duck.
Eldrick did not play at the Colonial.
No, he didn't. He's what's he?
And I doubt he'd play at Harbortown, which is next weekend. Harbortown's the one that usually follows the Masters.
Yeah, I know. Why wouldn't he? I don't know what he's up to.
I think the Harbortown might be beneath him a bit.
Oh, so
that's a hell of a golf course.
Really quick, because I forgot to mention this. So Patrick was talking about Stearns County, Joe. We had Lake Henry play Kimball at the Town Ball Classic the year after they met in the state championship game. And I will never forget this. It's 9 o'clock in the morning because we had to play early that year because we had a conflict that night. And the two public address announcers for Kimball and Lake Henry came down to the dugout to do the PA announcing for the game that day. Each one of them, it's 9:30 in the morning, had an ice cold beer ready to go. And I asked if I could tweet out a photo. They said, absolutely. And our guy, Linneman, just responded, Stearns County, baby. It was fantastic.
The PA announcer from Gibbon thought he was a witty fella, didn't he? He keeps throwing
chatting it up?
personal, making fun of certain people in the crowd.
Where is Gibbon?
About an hour west of me and Carver.
What highway do you take?
212, baby.
And is there a downtown Gibbon? Is it a little farming community?
It's a farming community. It's got 700 people, 750.
Yeah.
In 1954, Joe, Gibbon High School finished second in the state track meet.
Wow.
Behind St. Paul Central and ahead of Minneapolis Central.
Wow.
St. Paul. Now, back then it was just who qualified for the state, and then they added up the points, right?
Okay.
So St. Paul Central had 17, and there are not that many events, like 12 or something. That St. Paul Central had 17 and a half, and Gibbon had 13 and a half. Well, when they lost their school and they merged with Winthrop and Gaylord, I think. Winthrop and I'm not sure. Gaylord, I guess. When they merged, they didn't want the trophies. So the town vet, who's like 83 or 4 years old, I met him, and they didn't get a trophy for finishing second, so they made one.
Yeah.
The city made one, or the athletes did. They only had 4 guys. They didn't have a track, by the way, but they finished second. He had the trophies from the school all up in his office in an old cooler that had stopped running, so he just put the trophies in there. But he had all the trophies in there, and so I went up and looked at the trophies and took a couple of photos. And what a guy, though. You know Les Kuba?
Yeah,
I know that name.
Artist?
Yeah, the artist, the great artist. His wife comes from Gibbon, and they apparently lived there for a while. And they had an infant daughter who died. And this guy, lifelong bachelor, he goes out and puts flowers on the baby Kuba's grave all the time for all these years.
Wow.
It's got to be 40, 50 years. So.
Wow, that's pretty damn cool.
When you're a bachelor in Gibbon, you ain't got a hell of a lot else to do.
Right.
Nobody's telling you got to mow the lawn. So.
Was the wind howling at the Gibbon ballpark?
It was blowing pretty good. I thought we'd see some home runs to right. We did see one that was well maced.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
They use wood bats in town ball?
Yes, they do. Yep.
About 20 years ago, they were hitting so many home runs and the games were taking forever. They switched them to wood bats, and it's worked out well for them. They play their games. Games have gone from 3 hours to about 2:10, right, Reavers?
Oh, yeah, without
most
a
places, doubt. Yeah. So it was.
Speaking of witty public address announcers, have you guys? I'll play a little snippet here. Have you guys seen the video of the dad who coaches his kids? It looks like about 7th grade team, and he wants to have a little fun with the guys in the lineup. So he takes the PA announcing gig and he starts ripping all the kids that are as he announces them. Have you guys seen this?
I have not.
No. Here we go.
First for the Athletics, he bats leadoff, and he plays short because he's the coach's kid, but really he sucks.
Teasing.
Oh, yeah. He has to take time because the kid's laughing so hard. Let's see if he goes to another one here. Here we go.
Attention, if you need to get a hot dog or nachos, now would be the time because there won't be much to miss with number 12.
Anyway,
Boy, the needle. This must be someplace in the South.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
Because they can
I'm surprised
put
the
needle on.
moms weren't wagging their finger at
Oh,
the guy.
yes, I am too. I told you guys this is 25 years ago when, longer, 30 years ago when I went up to Sandberg Park and Ryan's best buddy, Matt Zins, was playing for the Little Gophers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had the Harpo Marx hairdo, Matt. And I got up there and just was riding him something vicious, and all these parents were getting mad. This was 30 years ago,
Well, I'm not
Get
allowed
a
to go to.
haircut. Look like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to even go to the games because they don't.
You
There are
might tease, huh?
people say, "Here he comes again." Here he
He might
the
tease
best
him.
line of that video is he's got a $500 bat, but he can't hit bleep.
Well, remember back when I got in a little trouble when I was the PA with the voice of the
Concordia
Comets,
Golden Eagles.
Golden
aren't
Eagles.
they?
That's
Yeah.
what it was. And
Uh-oh.
the referees would meet and and talk about a penalty, and they'd walk out and they'd say, "It's official. The refs are meeting at Gabe's by the Park after the game." And I got a little tap on the shoulder there from.
Yeah, you got fired, didn't you?
Was it Danny O'Brien or Tommy Rebelki? I forget. And that's all fine. But they said we can't do that.
Was that when TC was coaching?
TC was there. Yeah. So that was football.
Have you seen TC?
Yes.
He's invisible.
Yes. He's lost a whole
TC's
bunch of
lost
weight.
80
Tom
pounds,
Cross.
Joe.
Tom Cross.
Yeah.
Tom Cross
Yeah,
looks
he's,
fabulous.
He was the assistant coach for girls He's always at
Softball.
at Farmington girls basketball this year.
Oh, was it? Oh,
And they
basketball?
were going to play Hopkins in the state championship game when it got canceled. And
wow.
they, in 4A, they on Thursday had won in the semifinals. They were probably not going to do well against Hopkins with Paige Bukers, and one of their best players, Farmington Mogensen, had been hurt. But they had a chance to play for the state title, and then I got wiped out.
Cross is a good guy. He's really good friends with my brother-in-law, so I've known him forever. He is a character too. He's just a complete character. And that was fun. Then, of course, calling the refs are going to have some tumbling exercises at halftime. It really wasn't. It was, people were laughing, but the refs didn't really care for that.
At least now you work in another profession where dignity and 100% politeness to
elegance
coworkers, no needling of coworkers, none of that.
Oh.
I got to tell you, he was telling me something about some of his quips, Joe, with his coworkers at that other job.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard a few of those. I want him to do a show about it.
You can get away with that here with your pals at Hubbard. I'm not sure. I'd watch it. You might offend somebody. I had, in fact, this comes from a town ball game in St. Martin. I'm walking in the aisle behind home plate, and there's a young gal and a couple of her buddies coming along. She's like 25 and knocked up 5 months, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
So I pointed and said, "What's going on there?" And and she laughed, and her buddies laughed, and I thought, okay. And then I walked by and I said, I guess in St. Martin you can get away with that, but I better take that out of my.
I think got to take that out of the repertoire.
Yeah,
Right.
up in
Minneapolis Park or Sandlot, I wouldn't.
Here in the metro area, I think I better not.
You wouldn't have gotten away with that in Carver, I don't think, on Saturday night.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But she thought she giggled. So anyway,
That's
got
a
away with
small ray of hope.
Yes,
It's
it
a
is.
small ray of
Well,
hope.
and speaking of that, Joe, so Pat and I went to the game, which is about 5 blocks from my house in Carver Saturday night. They played a game, Carver versus Minnetonka. Sunday morning, they shut down the ballpark.
Why?
Great question.
The reason that most of them aren't open is they're municipal owned, and the city manager, consul, or something gives permission to play, and most of them are not giving permission to play. I think they're all worried about legalities. You know?
So was the game Saturday night played in defiance of it being shut?
It was after they played that game, but then
Sunday morning they got a note saying no more.
The city manager called and said you can't use the park.
Well, maybe somebody told Walls, Captain Walls.
Yeah. Woodbury, 9-year-olds, we're going to have a scrimmage on Sunday night. A scrimmage.
Woodbury 9-year-olds? Okay.
Yeah, a scrimmage. Luke's team. And in the middle of the day, they decided it could only be a practice.
Oh, Lord.
So you couldn't have two teams. Couldn't have two teams
Practicing
on the
together.
field at the same time. God Almighty.
I just don't.
I don't understand it. Who is the brains behind that? Is it
think
it
it's
my
your gal,
gal
Jan
Malcolm? Is
Malcolm.
it my gal
Yeah.
Malcolm? I think she hates baseball. She must have had a soccer player or something.
What was
But,
your? Oh, go ahead.
but if they allow him to scrimmage next week, what will be different about next week
nothing,
than today?
Not a
That's
damn
what I
thing.
don't
Nothing.
get.
Nothing.
The
Nothing
virus
will
is here.
change.
It's not going away.
What was your tweet, Pat, about Walls' baseball career? The reason he
My
hates-
tweet is that he's obviously, when he was 10, they made him play right field. They said, get out there, you're Stumpy. Go play right field, Stumpy. Or hit ninth and can't.
He was who was your guy? The guy that picked up his hat.
Weikerding. Yeah, he was the Weikerding of Mankato. Where's his hometown, Mankato?
I think
isn't
so.
it? Isn't it Mankato? Joe?
I'll check here. I got it.
Where's Waltz from?
Walls,
Mankato, isn't he?
somewhere down there. You can find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stopped to pick up his hat.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love
Daniel
that.
was a beauty. I hope Daniel's still with us. I haven't heard any updates. He was an interesting character.
Speaking of that, speaking of baseball players and their tendencies, I know you guys are going to make fun of me. That's fine. But Friday night, I was watching the replay of Matt Cain's perfect game for the Giants.
yes.
About 2012, I believe. And Pat, you're going to love this. So it's the bottom of the ninth. The entire crowd is on its feet. You know who the last out for the Houston Astros was? Our guy, Jason Castro.
Oh, really?
And so in that moment, it's 10-0. This guy is about to throw a perfect game. He's the last out of the game. Strike two was called, and Castro starts
bitches.
barking at the umpire.
Yes, in tradition.
I thought, oh my God, we should have seen that coming.
Yes, that's true. that is true. So last night, ESPN broke out a 30 for 30 on McGuire and Sosa. I watched a little bit of it, Joe, but every time I watch that, I'm embarrassed as a sports writer because I was there writing all the accolades about, boy, look at the way these two guys worked out, man. Wow, 1998. And there were already strong indications of steroid use, but we were just kind of ignoring it back then. And these monsters, and now you see you listen to the games being broadcast and you see the clips of the lies they're telling us and the whole deal. It's pretty amazing.
I didn't realize how unlikable of a guy McGuire was off the field.
Yeah, he was, even as a kid when he was a normal-sized human being, tall, but I remember, he broke in way back when he was skinny with 40, I think he set an American League rookie
49,
record for home runs.
Yep.
Because he had the lift swing way before it was fashionable, but he was not.
He break in with Oakland?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He stayed with them a long time. And then then he broke down, had a few injuries, went to St. Louis, and had a fantastic run there.
Yep.
But, we just weren't real smart. The juice ball, I guess we were worried about. We were worried about the juice ball again last year. Are we back doing other things? I don't know. Is it just juice ball?
Do you think that saved baseball? The home run chase between McGuire and Sosa?
No, because in the long run, no, I don't think it saved baseball. I think baseball was coming back then. Everybody says it saved it. It created interest. There's no doubt about it, but it didn't save baseball. Baseball right now is in a worse situation than they were after losing the World Series, I think, because back then they were fighting over millions. Now they got billions that they're fighting over, and they're still acting like idiots. I mean, look at the salaries. 94 Well, the Twins won the World Series in '91 with a payroll of $26 million or something.
Wow.
And in '94 or so, the Yankees probably had the highest payroll at about $35 million. So that's what you were fighting about back then. Now you're fighting about, payrolls of $200 million. So it's ridiculous.
Governor Walz, 56 years of age, born in West Point, Nebraska, came to...
Sure, he's here trying to ruin
not
the
even
state
one
of
of
Minnesota.
us.
He's not even one of
us.
He's a Cornhusker fan.
Walz
When
and his
did he
wife,
move here?
when they married in '94, they lived in Mankato for 20 years before moving to St. Paul upon his election as governor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got news for him. I figured it out today. Outside of St. Cloud, he runs in 2022. The vote in Stearns County is going to be 31,814 to 3. Whoever he's running against.
Who does he think is still listening to him?
I have no idea. But somebody told me even the internal DFL polling now has him at close to only 50%, and he was 80% 6 weeks ago.
Joe, I think I know who's still listening to him. It's the people that are still getting paid and very happy to be working from home.
And the mask. If you're wearing masks everywhere. But it is amazing. I saw more masks today in this building where not many people are working than I saw in Stearns County. I
don't get why you'd wear a mask if you're out for a walk or riding your bicycle. Where do you think the germ is? Do you see it somewhere? And if you got the mask on, you're all right? I don't get it. Plus, it's hard to breathe.
Yes, it is. Especially the cheap ones I got that when I breathe, I suck it in and then have to spit it out again. I got the cheapos. I had the expensive one, but I couldn't stand it.
I'm living with the Betsy Ross of the COVID-19
Yes,
here.
right.
It looks like a mask factory up
She
there.
makes homemade ones, right, for all the neighbors.
Oh, my God. You can't believe it.
We had an outing out yesterday in White Bear Lake. I was out at the Poor's house. And he's
Is that right by Paul's?
Yeah, I was a stone's throw from Paul's house, but I didn't see him. Paul's got a pool over there, so we were out. The family gathered together, and we kind of
Virus hates chlorine pools.
Yes,
they hate them.
yes.
You can see them running away when they,
Yes, and so I picked up my dad and brought my dad there. And speaking of masks, I just took my dad's got two masks. He's got his regular one and his backup, which was neatly placed in his shirt pocket.
And I wear mine in my back. I take mine in my back pocket when I go to the store. If I walk in and everybody's wearing one, I slap her on. Yeah.
Well, I took a look at my dad's. I hadn't really paid much attention to it, but Sophia kind of pointed it out with me too. And down on the corners, he may have spit out some extra gum, and it was like had the green and the stickiness on it, and I didn't want to embarrass him by saying anything to him, and I just left it alone, but. Sitting there in the hot sun for a while, that it wasn't a lot, but it was green on the corner, and I thought,
oh no,
what the hell does he think? These mint masks are really great to put on. I just,
Did he happen to offer up any more thoughts from Facebook?
You know what? I'm going to go
Is he still done with Facebook?
He was only done for about 5 minutes when he declared
himself.
himself.
Oh, he likes Facebook, huh?
Yeah, he declared himself. Never again. I'm done with Facebook.
Why?
42 minutes later. Does anybody have an air fryer recipe? He just, he doesn't really understand it, and he gets kind of crabby, but he thinks it's going out to everybody else.
Millions, yeah.
Yes.
Even though there's probably got 4 people that check in.
Exactly. Yeah. He was really on Jason DeRusha on Channel 4. They fired Kim Johnson, and now we have to put up with those two from 4 to 7 and again 9 to 10. So,
hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
DeRusha, once they tore down the Columbus statue.
Yep.
And DeRusha, who's a witty guy.
He's a good guy.
Sends out, is Sid Hartman's going to be next? Yep. It's, and I saw that and responded that I can testify that Sid wasn't very polite to Lavelle Neal when he filled in on the sports show.
Here we go.
And by the time I typed that, DeRusha's was gone.
Really?
So someone at the station must have said,
absolutely.
we can't be making fun of statues being torn down. This was within. I don't think it was up more than 5 minutes, but it got retweeted a number of times. But
Where
then
is
it
Sid's
wasn't
statue?
there.
Target Center, right?
Well, it was. Where is it now? They
moved
when they
it-
were remodeling. Is it around in front now?
Do you know where the bar entrance is as you're walking to Target Field?
Mm-hmm.
They moved it up to where almost the intersection of, what is that, 6th and the street that they it's up a ways almost towards the plaza. Okay. It's very close to the Tom Kelly statue.
Well, you worked for him for a number of years, and we can both testify that he's never said anything inappropriate.
Never.
Ever.
And that doesn't count. Screaming at referees doesn't count.
Oh, absolutely not.
The old guy, I went to see him, I told you a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't want to let me in. I guess he's 100. He probably doesn't figure he should take many chances.
Was he still in his own place, or he's in a assisted living?
No, he's in his own place. He's got a pair of sisters who, one or the other is with him. They're nurses, and one or the other is with him. And
They're going to heaven.
Oh, God, I said, you're making notes, right?
Yep,
You're making notes. But good gals, but of course he'll always complain at how much it costs him.
Yeah. Do they do his cooking for him and everything?
Well, yeah, they make sure he's. They
Give
make
him
sure
some
he's.
gazpacho, that
they make
soup
sure-
that he likes, the Thousand Island.
I told you a couple of years ago, last time I saw him at a dining place that wasn't the press room at Target Field or someplace. He was at Crossroads Deli, which is his joint there, and Kevin, the owner, said, "Hey, Sid's in there. You better go say hello to him." So I go in there, and one of the gals is with him, and Sid's got 3 cabbage rolls.
Yeah.
Going, and he's got one of them. You know, he and Kevin told me he always gets an order and a half, so he takes something home. But he's looking up, and he's finished one. He's halfway through the other one. He's got that stuff all over him, and he looks up and says, "I'm taking this one home." I don't know if he thought I was going to ask him for it or what.
I'm really hungry and times are tough, Sid.
I'm taking this one home. Boom, right back in. That is the secret of his longevity, as you know, a cast iron stomach.
Oh, God.
How?
Because he defies the type A behavior thing.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, if he would have been dead at 42 if
Right.
that type A behavior stuff meant. But when we did the sports show, there's a little Italian place over there, and we'd go have lunch once in a while or something before or after. Hey, give me some of that spicy sausage. He was only like 85 then. Give me that sausage, the spicy stuff,
But it always struck me that he only ate to just keep the engine running. He didn't really.
Yeah, I don't think he enjoyed it. He ate it too fast to actually enjoy it.
Right. He just wolfed it down because you had to have something to eat.
Who's a faster eater, Patrick, Joe or Sid?
Oh, I bet
Oh,
Sid.
Sid.
Really?
Sid's a world record.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, though. Newspaper sports writers as a whole are all quick. We're all quick, man.
Yeah.
I used to want to get done so I could drink, but that wasn't Joe's case. So it wasn't Joe's situation.
I just was quick.
Yeah, that's true. So with the golf, you don't like it without the crowds, but the boys, what happened to Lehman? Did he shoot 100 on Friday?
What happened to Harold Varner?
Yeah, but Lehman didn't make the cut, I don't think.
I don't know.
And he was 66 or 7 on opening day. He must. I forgot. I meant to look. He must.
I
have
wonder
shot
why
80.
he even played in that.
He must have won it.
Oh, maybe he
He
did.
must have won it. Huh?
Yeah, you get the checker jacket. You get the nice red checker jacket.
Yeah. I don't. Did he win it? I don't know.
So Berger wins over Moakawa in a playoff yesterday.
Boy, what a they had 12, 15 guys brawling for that thing the whole week. Though that was good.
How does not having a crowd affect the purse?
It doesn't.
I think they paid
It doesn't. Okay.
Well, they do. The charity might not get as much money. I don't know about the player. The players got their money, but
Well, the win was worth $1.3 or whatever. It was a normal payout.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. See, TV for the regular tour pays a fee for the thing, and then of course you got the sponsor, still got the name sponsor and stuff. But like the champions, the seniors, they pay the Golf Channel. So you got to cut a check like $600,000 or $700,000, 800,000 to have the TV come to you, and that's Ryan ran Allianz in Boca Raton, my stepson, for years, and that drove him nuts trying to come up with that Golf Channel money.
And they're still having the 3M? They're still planning on...
Well, yeah, they're on the schedule, but he's got to have his answer here pretty soon as to whether he can have any people up there or not. He wants like 5,000 or something and knows whether he can build a tent or not. They got to... I saw something that he, a week ago, said he had to know by the end of the week. And, of course, the way these guys are pussyfooting around, how are you going to get a decision?
How can you... It's crazy. You're talking 200 acres.
Yes,
it is. You can be distanced away.
Yes, you can. And, it's we have these, here's the problem. We have these hard and fast rules we're applying to certain things, and then we got, go for it. What the hell?
Yep, not a problem.
60, you go in a bar, and, I went into this bar in Albany. They only had 12 people in there. But some guy had just retired that day, and there were 7 guys within a 12-foot area on one end, and then there was the other. I mean, it's not. The magic 6 foot is not being followed. So, and I don't.
Is Wall still having a daily briefing?
No, Wednesday.
I don't think so.
I think he does it on Wednesday, but they must have released it today. He got his. I was hearing rumors that he was ready to come around and let him start playing baseball and did the medium risk sports to let him start competing, but I haven't heard anything. He might be mad at everybody. So.
I'm surprised baseball didn't put up a fight and say, "Look, we're playing.
Well,
here's what we'll do for you."
They have.
Yeah.
Some of them, but not all. But the cities. The cities aren't given permission.
No,
so.
I'm talking about Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't they put their foot down a long time ago?
Yeah, well, they don't have a problem because they can't make a deal with the players to play. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that'll hurt them. I think people are going to remember this.
Oh, yes, they are. Yep. The game is not exactly prospering with the younger crowd anyway. And now this could have been a bonanza for them in June. They would have been the only ones playing.
It's not a good game for short attention spans.
No, it is not. It is not. And in the pandemic, if you were playing earlier this month, people they can have a longer attention span because they didn't have anything else to do, right?
Right.
By the way,
what do you have to do, Pat?
By the way, I gotta say I didn't fully appreciate the pandemic poundage I've added until I saw the picture Reavers sent out of me with his 2 kids at the game in Carvo. What a tub of goo.
I saw that.
What a tub of goo.
Reavers isn't that big.
Oh, God, we're all just... But that's the problem. All of us are, they always say the camera adds 10 pounds.
Yep.
That's what we're all dealing with right now.
Here's our problem. We have no discipline.
No, none whatsoever.
We want to be entertained, and it turns out it's food. Luckily... we got this guy to take care of any financial complications.
Who do you got?
Who's that?
If you have questions about your retirement savings, now pay attention here, and you want to work with a person that knows what the heck is going on, do what I did and work with that person I know you can trust, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk. This is Ricey, and you need to see my guy Josh now, especially with what is going on in the markets on a daily basis. We're up, we're down, we're way down, we're way up. You need Josh's straight talk and not sugar-coated advice. Sit down with Josh for a no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation to review your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can learn how you can benefit from Josh's focused approach. Call Josh now at 952-925-5608, 952-925-5608. And as I said earlier, if you're still going strong at 48 minutes and you want a couple of more minutes, I think Josh will give them to you.
Of course he would.
He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy.
Hell yeah.
Well, Patty.
It was a pleasure. You got topics, man. You got topics.
You got topics.
Oh, it's just craziness. I just don't.
I don't think for somebody covering local news, there's ever been more landmines.
Right.
The landmines are every step, You can't make it, for instance, you can't make a joke about a Sid Hartman statue that lasts more than 2 minutes. So.
Well, I had a line in my column Sunday that they took out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with what they told me, and I said
told
that's
you.
fine, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But I said it's time for these police departments to quit playing cowboys and Indians. Well, you can't say that anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, right.
So that's gone. So
Can you say cowboys and indigenous people?
Doesn't quite have the
no,
same pep.
doesn't have the
No.
same.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't.
No. It's
God, what was I watching? I clicked and
Gunsmoke.
Breakfast at Tiffany's is one of the wife's favorite movies,
Okay, yeah,
right?
yep.
Well, they had Mickey Rooney in there playing a Japanese guy or a Chinese guy, Japanese guy. Unbelievable. If you think we're still as racist as we've ever been, you got to watch this thing. It's unbelievable.
Well, they announced, Amazon announced that they're pulling the Dukes of Hazzard series from. You can't purchase that because of the Confederate flag on the General Lee car.
Really?
Well, and I'm thinking, well, when's Blazing Saddles next?
Oh, yeah.
They'll pull it next, won't they?
If they pulled Gone with the Wind, they'll pull anything.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
now could they just take out the car scenes and leave?
Well,
Leave,
you're going to have
leave
about
it.
6 minutes.
Leave Miss Bach in there.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
she could just—she's walking around town and be like, okay.
She could fill up one of those little cut-off blouses. I'll tell you that. She was quite an impressive scene.
You know what that was? I think she would be the model for that.
You realize
She would
what
be-
you realize what you three just did? You
What?
tried to figure out a way to get Dukes of Hazzard okay for television.
Who wants it to go
That's
away?
right.
Not
That's
I,
right.
said the duck.
Yes.
You wanted to edit Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes, I did.
Like it was an important part of the body of work in the acting industry.
Can we blur out the flag there on the top?
Blur it out.
Or it would be one of those. What was that video we used to watch? The really bad editing job. Remember those?
Oh, where they're
Where
off,
they would rewrite scenes from history. It was done in a very joking manner.
and it was off. The sound thing was off by 2 seconds. Or,
Oh, is it Drunk History?
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
maybe that's what it was.
All right, everybody, leave Amerigo Vespucci alone. I want this
I
to
haven't
be
found
the
anything
United
yet.
States of America.
I haven't found anything yet.
God, I hope they don't find out
Hey,
anything.
are you worried about Trump's health? He's got to lift up his right arm with his left arm. Are we worried about that?
Well, I'm personally not.
No.
But it's interesting to watch, isn't it? Why did you go to the hospital last November? We still don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You had a little trouble getting down the ramp, too, at West Point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he's my age, you know. We don't move like we used to. So, but he hasn't been tweeting quite as crazy either, right?
If I see am I following him? I have no idea.
Well, it's impossible
Not
unless
to.
you block his actual account to not have him come up and.
Especially if you're Joe and you
Right.
have developed an audience. So anyway, we didn't have the guy today, huh?
Oh, J.L. Cobbin, I should
Yeah,
check.
well, get him next week. We
Okay,
got
then
Joe
we got
and I
more
gotta
topics.
go. We got important things.
All right.
All right.
Check
We'll see
out,
you there.
check
All
out the
right.
Monday Night Sports Talk podcast and previous podcasts at PodMN on your smartphone, or check it out on your computer at podmn.com. That's podmn.com. Monday Night Sports Talk podcast version. We'll catch you next time.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring after 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability. Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.
As fall fills up with activities and obligations, even a small time saver can feel like a big help. Grammarly is an all-in-one writing tool that makes clear, concise communication easier than ever, so you can finish your work earlier and head off to family dinners, social events, and fall weddings. Grammarly is free to download and works where you do, so every project gets finished quicker. Make sure your writing is free of mistakes with Grammarly's free, comprehensive writing suggestions, and get an instant take on how your message comes across with the free tone detector. Let Grammarly Premium's sentence clarity rewrites help you find the perfect words on the first try. You'll be confident writing client emails, deadline-driven reports, and presentations without staying late at the office. Get more time back in your day by writing with Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/podcasts to sign up for a free account. Then get 20% off when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium. That's Grammarly.com/podcasts.